Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing something a bit different because you can only make so many series videos. Today I'm just going to be making a tier list based off of pure bias. So let's get started. Bladderfish. Pretty cool. Does nothing though, not a great food source, so I'm putting him in D tier. Crab snake. These guys are really scary, really cool. They make some really good sounds, and they also fit their biome really well. So I'm gonna give them an A tier. Okay, next up, Bloodcrawler. These guys are also really just terrifying. They make great noises. Just overall, a lot of the same upsides as the crab snake. But for me, they aren't as cool, so I guess I'll put them in B tier. Next up's the crab squid. Like with the other two, just great noises, fit the biome really well, just overall terrifying. The EMP attack is one of the most annoying things in the game when you're just trying to mind your own business, so I'm gonna put them in C tier. Crashfish. Now I think we all know where I'm gonna put this one. He's going in F tier. Bottom of the barrel. It's where he belongs. Eye. Big eye. But D tier. Floater. These guys actually have some really cool lore inside the game, and you don't really see them too much, but they still add a lot to the game. So I'll give them a good C tier. Next up, the Garyfish. They look really stupid. They're a terrible source of food. In fact, I don't think I've even eaten one of these guys in the 4 years that I've been playing Subnautica. So you know what? E tier. Next up, the Gasopod. See, when you're just trying to go around the safe shallows, minding your own business, and then you hear these stupid creatures, just noises, they fart all over you, I guess, and actually can kill you really quickly. They are a menace, and they deserve nothing more than D tier. Next up, the Ghost Leviathan. Honestly, I don't even have to say anything. These guys are going in S tier. Ghost Ray. Pretty cool. They don't really inhabit a lot of the areas in the game, but in the places they do, they fit them perfectly. And overall, you know, good noises, just a cool creature. So I'll put them in B tier. Holefish. It's like a peeper, but worse. C tier. Hoopfish. Again, peeper, but worse. Except still worse than the holefish. So I'm gonna put him in D tier. Hoverfish. Now you guys can't really see it, but just look at this guy's face. He deserves nothing less than S tier. I mean, come on. Next up, we gotta get the Jelly Ray. These guys, pretty cool. They do nothing really that interesting. They just kind of go around. So I'll put them in C tier. Shuttlebug. This creature was actually broken until the Subnautica 2.0 patch, and didn't actually do what it was meant to. Before the patch, it was, you know, it existed, but was kind of boring. Now it at least does something. So if we're talking about pre-Subnautica 2.0, I would put it in D tier, but I think at this point it kind of deserves a C tier just for the extra interactability with the environment. Next up, the Bleeder. These things deserve to go to jail, along with whoever had the idea to create them. F tier. Lava Eye. It's like normal Eye, except in a cooler biome. C tier. Bone Shark. Really just generally cool creature, but really annoying when you're trying to do anything inside the game. So I'm gonna put him in D tier. Lava Larva. I hate them. Lava Lizard. These guys, I like them. They can get a bit annoying when you're just trying to mind your own business in the lava zones, but I still like them, so I'll put them in B tier. Lava Boomerang. Just like the Eye, it's like a boomerang, except cooler. C tier. Mesmer. Even though these guys can be really annoying, I never really come across them unless I'm looking for them, and even then they're pretty easy to get away from. And just as a creature concept, they're really interesting and really cool. Definitely one of my favorite creatures in the game. I'll put them in A tier. Next up, bladderfish. In early game you use them a lot for water, but the later you get, the less you need this specific source of water. You generally get it from other plants, or creatures, or disinfected water. So I'm gonna have to put it in B tier. Next up, Oculus. It's like a peeper, except, I think it looks a lot cooler. So I'm gonna put it in A tier. Anyway, so the actual peeper belongs in S tier. First off, it's, the main fish of the whole game. It's really important to the lore, has a lot of information on it, and just, it looks cool, has a big eye, I guess. But just for being one of the best food sources in the game, and for being so important to the story and lore of the game, I think the peeper probably deserves an S tier at this point. Here's the rabbit ray. Pretty cool. Adds a little bit of life to the safe shallows, even though it doesn't really need it. And honestly, the game could probably go without it. So I'll put it in, I don't want to put it in E tier. I guess D tier. Biters. I hate them with every fiber of my being. They do nothing useful except for look cool, I guess, and nothing else really. So I'll put it in E tier. And actually, I'm gonna put his brother in E tier too, because they're the same thing. Okay, Reaper Leviathan. I'm probably gonna make a lot of people angry with this, but I'm actually gonna put it in A tier. And my reasoning is, it's a little bit overrated. Yeah, it has some really terrifying sounds, and just the creature itself has a scary model, but once you figure out how to avoid them, it's really easy to do so. They eventually just become an annoyance more than something to be scared of. And with you being able to hear them more than like a quarter of the way across the map, they eventually kind of lose their scariness factor. So, A tier. Lava Ray. One of my favorite creatures in the game just because of the way it looks, and I'm gonna have to give it B tier. Next up, Reginald. One of the best food sources in the game, if not the best. So I'm probably gonna have to put them in A tier. Next up, Amoeboid. It doesn't do anything. At most, it's an annoyance when you're trying to move your prawn suit around the Lost River, and it just gets in the way. No interesting lore or any implications to the story, so I'm gonna put it in E tier. Rock Grub. They do some interesting things. Not really though, they just kind of go around. I actually played this game for like 2 years without even knowing they existed, so I'm gonna put them in E tier. Next up, Sand Shark. They could be related to one of the coolest things in the whole game. I think we've gone past the point of spoilers here, so if not, click off, but they could be related to one of the giant skeletons in the Lost River, so that's interesting, I guess. I'll just put them in B tier. I'm also noticing now this tier list is very symmetrical. Sea Dragon. I love this thing. It has, at least what I think, the coolest sounds in the whole game. It's terrifying, and it doesn't matter how many times I go by this guy. I don't get scared from Reapers or Ghost Leviathans or really any other Leviathan anymore, but this guy, he scares the crap out of me. It doesn't matter, even in creative mode, where I lose nothing. I still just shake whenever I hear this thing. So I am going to put that in S tier. Next up, Sea Emperor. It basically is the story, so I can't put it any lower than A tier. It's also really important, but I don't know if it quite deserves the fame from S tier, and honestly, she's cool and all, but I don't really care that much about her. So I'll put them in A tier. Next up, Sea Treader. They're in one place. If they were in more areas of the game, I would love them way more. But they're in a place where you just never have to go. And because of that, I'm gonna have to put them in D tier. Next up, Ampiel. These guys are great, annoying, but really just original with the way they just kind of create electricity, I guess. So I'll put them in B tier. Next up, Cave Crawler. These guys are great and all, but they're a pest and they deserve to die, so they're going in F tier. Skyray. They fly around and sometimes like to sit in midair and break all laws of physics, and I can respect that, so I'll put them in A tier. Next up, Spadefish. They're a decent source of food. I think they're the smallest creature you can hatch from an egg, except for the Mesmer, but I'm gonna put them in C tier. Next up is the River Prowler. They are annoying, and they're constantly attacking you in the Lost River, and honestly are probably more dangerous than the actual ghost Leviathans there, so I'm gonna put them in D tier. Next up is the Spinefish. It's a hoop fish, except more interesting, so I'll put him in C tier. Stalker. I once had one as a pet, so I'm gonna be a little biased, but that's kind of the point of this whole video, so I'll put him in A tier. Next up is the Warper. By far the second coolest sounds, right behind the Sea Dragon. Another scary creature. So I guess I'll put them in A tier. I thought I already did the reef back, but I think I put it. I'm pretty sure I already did the reef back. Okay. Next up is the Cuttlefish. Honestly, I never really use them as pets. And they're cool and all, don't get me wrong, but they're kind of overrated. They don't do anything for you. They just kind of sit around being annoying and being unnecessary stress for you. So a lot of people are going to be mad at me about this, and quite frankly, I don't care. Cuttlefish is going in B tier. Well, that's all of them, so if you liked the video, go on and subscribe and leave a like or comment down below, and I'll see you next Saturday. So, goodbye.